Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing a testing new products type video. I haven't done one of these in a while, and I think it's always fun to test out new products on camera. Some of them I have been using, so I'm going to give you my opinion about them. And then other ones, it's my first time using them, so it's like a first impressions. So I like the way the makeup turned out. I hope you guys do as well. So thank you so much for watching, and let's get started. I'm going to go in with my Lorac Behind the Scenes Eye Primer today to prime my eyelids. So let's go into this Delancey palette here. It's a pretty packaging. I really like the colors. And these are all the shades in here. They look nice. So I am going to take this shade right here. And I'm using these new brushes that were sent to me from Royal and Langnickel. These are the GEEK Pro brushes. And oh my God, these are a must-have. This is $2 and it's perfection for the crease. Perfection. And just kind of run that through the crease. I was afraid it might not show up, but it is showing up. Next, I'm gonna go into this shade right over here. They sent me a few of these palettes from Amazon, so I think I'm gonna do a video on each one, just testing them out. So this is definitely more of a first impressions video. So this shade, I feel like it looks a little bit like a warmer brown in the pan, but when I put it on my eyes, it's looking more like corally on my eyes. That brush right here that I was using for my crease is the GEEK Pro. So Royal and Langnickel has different categories of brushes. So these are part of the GEEK collection, and this is a crease brush. And I actually bought 3 or 4 backups because I was like, I need more because they're so good. This color right here. And this one is an eyeshadow brush by the same brand. So the other 2 shades were fine. I feel like this one, I don't know, like it needs to be built up, and it's already getting a hard pan, which is really weird. So that's not good. Oh yeah, they have like a weird texture. It's almost like a cream. Maybe these are supposed to be cream. I'm gonna go on Amazon and I'm gonna check what it says about this particular palette because it doesn't, I don't think it had a sleeve on this particular one. I know the other 2 did, which is really weird. But it doesn't say if they're like a different formula, so let me look. This palette retails for $22.99 on Amazon. It says, oh, it is a cream palette. It says cream gel eyeshadow palette. Did not realize that. So I might switch to a different palette because I didn't realize until I made a hole in this one that it was a cream. Very interesting. Okay, well, we might come back to this to use on the lid. I don't know yet. I also have this palette right here from Delancey, and this one is the Tender Night palette. And this one has some pretty shimmery shades in it. Has some mattes, but mostly shimmers. So this one's matte, and these 2 are matte. This one's a lot bigger than these 2. They all have mirrors, which is nice. So this one has mattes, shimmers, and some glitters. So I think I'm gonna go into this really big palette right here. This brown right up there. I know I'm going for like a very neutral look. Oh yeah, that's going on way better. But you know, the other one was a cream, so it was hard to pick up product on the brush because it is a cream, but this one is working really nice. So yeah, you can see that that one's pigmented. It blended out nicely. I think that one was just fine. Take a clean brush. This one is by Juno & Co. This is only $2 as well. Super affordable. I'm gonna take this like peachy shade above all the other shades here. And this brush is the ES07. From the Tender Night palette, I think I'm gonna go in with this purple right here. I'm gonna take an ES06 from Juno & Co. And again, it's only a $2 brush. Okay, this shadow is very powdery. I did not expect that at all. So I'm just popping this in right here on the inner portion of the lid. Seems to go on pretty well. I'm just gonna apply this color wet just to maximize the sheen. So I'm gonna go into this shade right here. It's called Starry Eye. So this is a little bit like a duochrome purple. This one looks like it might be duochrome as well. And I'm just taking my wet brush and going through that. I'm just gonna pop that right here. Go back into the Nocturnal palette and I'm gonna take a deeper purple. So I want to take this purple right here. It's called Mystic Night. So I'm going to take the ES07 from Juno & Co. So I'm just going to pop this color on the outer corner here. So that did darken up the outer corners here, but I did get a little bit of fallout, which is not a big deal. It is a darker shade and that's kind of typical. So I'm just gonna clean up. So I'm taking a Wet n Wild crease brush and I'm just blending out the upper edges here. It's looking a little harsh, so I just wanted to blend that out further. So I'm gonna go back in with that first purple that we used right here. It's called Census. And I'm just gonna brighten up that inner corner, since I lost maybe a little bit of the color. So I'm gonna go into this bigger palette and I'm gonna take the Dark Clouds black shade and I'm just gonna use that as eyeliner, and I'm gonna use this brow slash liner brush. This is from the Chic collection by Royal and Langnickel. It comes in a set. I will link everything down below that I used, all the brushes as well. So let me know if you guys want me to start linking brushes down below that I use. Sometimes I get questions about the brushes I use. I don't always say what they are, and I know it can be helpful for some people. But this is a really good brush because it's like stiff. It's like the perfect stiffness, like not too stiff where it's pokey, but it's stiff enough where you can get a nice straight line, and it's thin, like it's not a thick liner brow brush. I'm gonna take a little bit more of that dark purple and I'm gonna use this little pencil type brush. It's the ES08 from Juno & Co. And I'm gonna take this clean brush and I'm gonna go back into that kind of peachy shade and I'm just going to blend that through the crease again. So I wanna brighten up the inner corner, so I'm gonna take this shade right here, and this one's called Fresh Snow, and this is from this palette right here. And again, I'm just using that pencil brush I just used. I'm going to apply my Essence Lashes of the Day Super Volume Mascara. So on my face, I put on this Bare Minerals Brilliant Future Age Defense and Renew Serum. I got this at TJ Maxx and I actually really like this a lot. Like it just feels, the texture of it going on the skin is so nice, and it just feels makes my skin feel hydrated. It is a little bit tacky, which helps the makeup stick. But I just think my skin looks a little bit more radiant with it and it feels hydrating, and I just really like that. So definitely keep using that and I would repurchase it. I'm gonna go in with this new L'Oreal Infallible Longwear Shaping Stick Foundation. So I have 3 shades. I'm gonna use all 3 of them. So I'm going to just apply this lighter shade more towards the middle of my face. So this shade right here is called Nude Beige. That's what it looks like. This is how much product you get in here. I'm gonna go in with Sand, which is a little bit darker, but more yellow. And I'm gonna go kind of in between and a little bit on the outer portions here of my face. So I'm gonna use this BDELLIUM Tools brush. This is the Slanted Precision Kabuki 956, part of their Golden Triangle collection. The Golden Triangle collection has blue handles. I really love the blue, just love it. I think it's just different and I like color, so. So I find with this brush, it works best like if I go in a downward motion, just because it is angled and it's not as dense as I would like for foundation. So I just feel like it works best going in a downward motion like this. I'm actually gonna switch brushes again. So I'm gonna take my Morphe brush. This is the Y6, one of my favorites for foundation. So I've been using this foundation for a while and I really like it. For a stick foundation, I really like it because it's really creamy and I feel like it doesn't accentuate my pores like most do. And I feel like it's a little bit more on the hydrating side than drier. Like a lot of times stick foundations, they look dry and they just kind of cling to dry patches. I don't find this to be the case with this particular one. Now I do feel like less is more. I did try like building it up one day and I just felt like the lasting power was not as good. And I don't think it would be good for people with oily skin, honestly. Because I feel like it does kind of break up a little bit like in this section right here, my skin. So it's not the most long lasting, but it's not bad. And like I said, less is more. I feel like less is definitely more. So the last and final shade that I'm gonna use is called Tan. And I'm actually gonna just contour with this. And it's not too dark. I'm gonna take this Morphe brush right here. This is a Y2. You see it's like just slightly contoured or bronzed. It's like hardly noticeable, which I like. I had bought a different shade to contour with and it was way orange on me, so that's why I went with this one. So although it's like not very noticeable, I like that. At least it's not orangey on me. Yeah, can you guys see it? I don't know if you guys can even see it. I just bought this powder. I think they used to be called Boots number 7 and now they took out the Boots and now they're just number 7, I think. So I just got this. I bought it at Target and it's the Perfect Light Loose Powder and Translucent. So I've been on this like loose powder kick lately. I don't know why. I'm just trying out a bunch of different loose powders. This one has a little bit of a pink undertone to it, just slightly. And I'm just gonna go in with this B06 brush from, what is it from? Oh, I didn't put concealer on, OMG. All right, so to conceal under my eyes, I'm gonna take one of the new Born This Way concealers from Too Faced. I just got these in the mail yesterday. I bought 2 shades because the other shade that I bought was way too dark for my under eye area. So I have Snow and Swan. I think Snow is the lighter one of the 2. So I'm gonna apply this under my eyes. It does seem like people of a lighter skin tone have been having trouble finding their color match. I think a lot of the lighter shades are more yellow toned, and so people that are cool toned have been having trouble finding a shade that they like under their eyes. I do have more of a yellow undertone. This color looks like it's gonna work. But I do like pink under eye concealers because I feel like they actually brighten more for me than yellow. This concealer I freaking love, and I was waiting for my package to come so that I could try the lighter shade, because the one I had, it was just too dark and it oxidized under my eyes because it was not the right color. I had the shade in Vanilla, by the way. Yeah, that's nice and brightening. Definitely better. Little bit of this concealer down the bridge of my nose. Like that was probably too much for my nose. Definitely too much. So I'm gonna go into that number 7 translucent powder. I'm gonna take another brush by Real Techniques. This is part of their blue collection. It is the B02. So these are supposed to mimic, I think, blue squirrel hair. They're not real hair though. They are synthetic, but they're super soft. I did have an issue with them shedding, so they sent me some new ones. And the bigger one is the one that sheds more. And they sent me a new one, but it still sheds some, so I don't know. But they're so soft. Like right now, do you see? I don't know if you see, 2 hairs are coming out right now. So I'm just gonna set my entire face with this powder. This new Covergirl bronzer. This is part of their chocolate collection. It's the Chocoholic bronzer. Smells like cocoa, smells really good. Look how shimmery this looks. But I have been using this and I actually really like it. I feel like when I put it on the skin, it doesn't look as shimmery as it does in the pans. The brush I'm gonna use for my bronzer is this one by GEEK. So this is like a travel size. It came with a set that came with that like eyeliner brow brush that I talked about. So I'm obsessed with this. First of all, I love like the copper handles. I really love it, but these are extremely soft and they're so affordable. I think the kit is $14. So there's a few brushes from the kit that are my favorite, but this is my absolute favorite. This is just like the perfect fluff and density, and it's extremely soft and it just blends powder, bronzer, and blush out so good. Like I can't put this brush down. So I'm gonna go in with this. I haven't used it with this particular bronzer though, so let's hope that it doesn't like apply too much. But it's just so soft and you can use it so light-handed. Do you see? I would recommend going in light-handed with this bronzer for sure. And definitely tapping off excess product. But this brush is absolute perfection for blending products out. Do you see what I mean? Like, it doesn't look super shimmery or intense. So I'm gonna take a blush from the Covergirl Peach collection. So I don't think these have names. They do have 2 shades. I have both of them. I'm gonna use this one. It's the lighter of the 2. I think the other one's a little bit more corally and it has a little bit of a sheen. This one's number 120. I think this is so pretty. I really like it. So I'm just gonna use the same brush actually. And it smells good. Like I like the way that these peach and chocolate products smell from Covergirl. So I'm gonna take this highlighting palette from Covergirl. It's the True Blend Super Stunner palette. This one is absolutely stunning. I think it's beautiful and I really like the formula of these. I'm gonna take this complexion brush by Royal & Langnickel. It's the BOM 38. So my favorite shades in this palette are these 2 over here. I just feel like the sheen on these is so beautiful. This one's pretty too, but I feel like it looks a little bit more subtle. Not that subtle's bad, but a little bit more on the powdery side when you put it on the skin. Whereas these have a beautiful sheen and they just sit on the skin really well. You see how beautiful these are? So I think this is so pretty. I'm just mixing the 2 shades actually. I really like this palette. I think it's worth looking at. Even if it's just for the 2 shades, I think it's worth it. Look how beautiful that looks. Take this little brush right here. It came in that kit from GEEK. And it's the angle shader brush. I like to use the angled brushes to apply shadow on my brow bone. So I'm gonna take this shadow right here. It's called Moonlight. Bit of a pink undertone, but it's so light that I think it would work with this look. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I always like to use angled brushes for my brow bone just because I can turn the brush sideways like this and really get in there. So you can see that really brightened under my under eye area. I'm gonna go back into my crease brush from Wet n Wild, and I'm gonna go back through this with this peachy shade right here. It's called Memories. I don't think I ever told you what it was called. And I'm just gonna lightly dust that back through the crease because we lost some of that color. I'm gonna take a Chic Pro smudger brush. This is like a little pencil brush. It's even smaller than the other one that I was using. Take that white shade. Just go back in with that. So I'm actually going to put this green shade right here. It's called Lullaby. And I'm just going to pop that right on the lower lash line. So I'm gonna use this really interesting brush. It came with that Chic kit. And it's almost like a pencil brush, but you can see it has a little bit of an angle to it. So it comes to a point at an angle, which I really like because it's easy to like hold it like this, but it's tilted so it can get the shadow on the lower lash line really nicely. So I just thought the shape of it's unique. And it's really soft, so it's not scratchy on the lower lash line. All right, for eyeliner, I want to try a new one that I picked up. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Last Waterproof Eyeliner Pencil in Forest Green. So I'm gonna go back in with my mascara and apply it to my lower lashes. You guys know, if you've been following me, that the Essence Lash Princess is my absolute favorite, but I always like trying different Essence mascaras because they're so affordable. So I think this one's good, but it's definitely not as good as the Essence Lash Princess. Like, you can build it up and you can get some length and some volume. And I do like the way it makes my lashes look, but I do like the other one more, so. I mean, it's pretty good, this mascara. Make my skin even like more dewy. I mean, it looks a little bit powdered, but for the most part, I feel like it still has a nice glow to it without even the highlight. Like, my nose looks kind of glowy, and I didn't put any highlighter on. I'm gonna use this. It's the Catrice Illuminating Prime and Fine Dewy Glow Fixing Spray. I just got this in the mail yesterday. I bought it from Ulta. It's so small. Why is it so tiny? Prepares the skin, improves makeup wear, refreshes complexion. So let's give it a go. I should have done this before my mascara. It does have a little bit of a rose scent, but it's not overpowering. I'm not always a fan of rose. I mean, if it's a lightly scented rose, I don't mind it at all. But if it's like too strong, then I don't like it. But it smells good, actually. So I'm gonna take this new lipstick from Maybelline. I don't know what these are called, but they're like in this pink metallic packaging. And I got the shade Baddest Beige. They're very, very creamy. And you can see, like, when you see this color, it looks darker, but when you apply it, it turns lighter. Do you see like how it looks lighter at the top? That's because it just got lighter as I was using it. So when I first bought this, I put it on in the car and I was like, oh my God, I don't think I'm gonna like it. It's gonna be too light. But I really like it a lot. It's very, very like creamy and glossy. It's just really pretty. So I'm gonna take Almay Goodness Gloss, and this one is called Mystic. Has a little bit of a purpley duochrome to it. I think I'm just gonna put that on the middle of the lip. And I'm not sure that that even did much. So this is the completed look. What do you guys think? I mean, I'm loving a lot of these products. I do need to play with the eyeshadow palette some more. I've only used them today, so I do need to play with them some more, but I really like the way the eye look turned out. I mean, at first I thought the eyeshadow was lackluster, like the purpley shade, but I feel like purples are very hard to do, and especially shimmery purples. Like, I feel like it's always hard to get a very good shimmery purple. So at first I thought it was kind of lackluster, but I can see, I think it's that second purpley shade that I use more in the middle to outer portion of the lid. I can see that duochrome a little bit, and I don't know if it's playing off this green color on my lower lash line really well. But I mean, I like the way the eye look turned out, and I'll have to keep playing with these palettes and maybe do an individual review on them. So yeah, everything else I'm really liking. definitely liking everything. So thank you so much for watching this video. I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.